What's up everybody, it's Hayden here from Top Dog Tutoring. Welcome to day 20 of Top Dogtober. We really are getting closer to that forfeit at the end. Now if you're enjoying these videos, please leave us a comment down below because I'd love to know at what point you started watching these videos. Have you been here since day one? Have you just recently started tuning in? It's all good news to me. Anyway, if you like our learning style, then please do spend 20 seconds checking out our website because you can sign up to our 11 plus preparation resources, which is a bank of premium lessons in English, maths, non-verbal reasoning and verbal reasoning, all of which coming with a downloadable homework task to help you practice more. Now, each of those tasks come with answers and an answer video walkthrough as well. Now, the best bit is if you sign up for the whole year and use my discount code VOTEHAYDEN, you can get 15% off the price, saving yourself a nice £50 on that overall cost. Okay, guys, let's move on to this session because yesterday Dylan left you with this question for rhyming synonyms, a verbal reasoning strand. And the way to answer it, well, let's have a look at the answer. Let's see, did you get D, construct? Well, hopefully you realize that the word that rhymes with thrilled that works in this sentence is build. I really like that because of the different way we spell that ild sound, completely different in those words. And of course, build means construct, which is why D is the answer. Today, though, I'm going to do something a little bit different with you. So in English, sometimes we have these sentence completion type questions, and they're often just about your knowledge of English grammar. For example, relative clauses, which we've got here, or whether you know which prepositions to use in particular sentences, whether you know common misconceptions like affect and effect, which I'll talk to you a little bit about later, that kind of thing. So the best strategy for this, because you've got 5 options, is to at least read all 5 options to see if that your gut feeling is kicking in with which one makes the most sense in a sentence. So let's read this one together. It says, across the floor, there were puddles of water from the beakers of the scientists rushed from one end of the lab to the other. So it's either the scientists that rushed from one end of the lab to the other. Sounds okay. The scientists as they rushed from one end of the lab to another. That doesn't work because they would suggest it's a new sentence. For example, from the beakers of the scientists, full stop. They rushed from one end of the lab to the other. So that doesn't quite work. We're going to get rid of B. What is a really classic mistake. It's such a good trap because a lot of children use the word what when they shouldn't be. What is a questioning word. It should not be used in this kind of sentence like this. We're going to get rid of it. Then we've got which and who, and they all sound okay. The beakers of the scientists which rushed from one end of the lab to the other, who rushed from one end of the lab to the other. There's a simple rule here, guys. We're talking about people, scientists, so it'd be quite rude to use the relative pronouns that or which, because we normally use them for kind of objects, maybe animals at a push. But who is reserved for when we're talking about other human beings, other people. So that is the best answer. That's my relative pronoun that I should be using when addressing the scientists. Okay, you get the idea. So now I'm going to give you a question. I'd like you to have a go. So what I want you to do is pause the video, read it out loud. It's really important to use expression and start challenging some of those misconceptions and maybe ways that people say things that they shouldn't do. What preposition works the best in this sentence? Have a go. Okay, the helicopter flew the local village in order to start the search for a missing dog. The helicopter flew against the local village. That doesn't even make any sense. The helicopter flew in the local village in order to start the search for a missing dog. Now, people might think that is the right answer, but realistically, if you think about the word in, would a helicopter fly in a local village? I don't think they would. I don't think that's the best preposition. If I was describing a helicopter flying around, I wouldn't say it's in the local village. I'd say it's above. I'd be thinking of its position relative to us, okay? So I'm not sure that's the best answer, but we'll leave it for now. If you're not sure, you always leave it. The helicopter flew towards the local village in order to start the search. Now, this makes more sense because they haven't actually started it yet. So it gives more of a sense of they're on their way, okay? And if they're already in the village, then, you know, in order to start the search, I don't know, it doesn't sit right with me. I think towards makes more sense. Let's try next. The helicopter flew next the local village. That doesn't even make sense. And under the local village causes quite a funny sentence. I like the idea of a helicopter flying underneath the village. That'd be quite funny, but obviously in reality, it doesn't make any sense. So we're back down to these two. I think we've decided, haven't we, that in is not the best answer, whereas towards makes the most sense for this sentence and the context that we've been given. So we're going with C, towards. Well done if you got it right. Okay, another question. Why don't you have a go at this one? You know the rules now. Pause the video, come back to see the answer. I really like this sentence because there's a lot to unpick, okay? Firstly, think back to my lesson way back in October, near the beginning, because we have been releasing daily videos, just saying, when I talked about semicolons. I really like this use of the semicolon. We're relating two clauses. So we've got the choppy seas were rising and falling with vicious force. And we've got another sentence that's going to be related. And also this comma is so telling because it tells me that the word that comes before it is forming a fronted adverbial of some sort. Okay, that's really important. So we've got something, and then the torrential rainfall made it even trickier to navigate the waters. So we've got this torrential rainfall making it even trickier because also the choppy seas were rising and falling with vicious force. So we've got these two things making it really horrible to navigate the waters. So what conjunction here gives this idea of, as this is bad, and then we've got this that makes it even worse? Well, the best answer here is actually moreover, because moreover essentially means on top of that, so also this is happening. All right, that's the best answer. The others don't work quite as well in the sentence. Moreover makes the most sense. So well done if you managed to get that one right. So grammar. Grammar's pretty tricky, right? Let's do another one. This is one of my favorites, okay? This is one of my favorites because I'll tell you right now, Dylan, if I get this wrong, it's like Dylan can sniff it out. He's there. He might not even be in the same area. If I accidentally type the wrong practice, he's like, Hayden, I saw that, and I'm terrified of him because he's on it all the time. But it's a really good one. So I want you to try and pick the right answer here. Don't be afraid to give it a go. All right, simple rule, guys. Practice and practice. There are two spellings of practice. All right, let's make this clear once and for all. Practice and practice. If anyone's ever told you that that's not how you spell it, they're wrong. It's just that they might not know there's two options. So the first one, if you spell practice with a C, it's a noun. So for example, the doctor's practice, that's a place, it's a noun. Or if I talked about your piano practice being really good, then I'm just talking about your piano practice as a noun. I'm not actually insinuating that it's a verb. The verb to practice is what we use as a doing word. So in this sentence here, we're using it as a verb. How often have you been practicing for your performance with the orchestra? So we can get rid of all the ones that don't say practicing, but we're down to the C and S. Now, because it's a verb, we're going to use S. Fun fact for you, practicing with a C, this doesn't even exist, this word. If you think about it, how can that be a noun? There is no thing called practicing. That's not a noun. Doesn't work like that. Another one of my favorites, whilst I've got you here, before I move on, I'm just going to make some space here. Another one of my absolute favorite words that people always get wrong is affect and effect. And I said at the beginning, didn't I, that I would go over this. You've probably seen it before, guys. Hopefully nodding at the screen if you've seen these words and thinking, yeah, I never know which one it is. Which one do we use? Well, just like before, just like with practice and practice, it's the same sort of thing. Effect with an E is a noun. If I'm talking about the effect something had, okay, I'm talking about as an abstract noun. But if I want to use it as a verb, as a doing word, okay, so it's affecting me. If I'm saying, wow, Dylan being near me is affecting me all the time because he's just so scary, I know, I get it, then I've got to use it with an A. All right, so it might be worth writing that down, guys. The practice and practice, the affect and effect. Pretty cool. People always get it wrong. You won't get it wrong anymore. Anyway, I'm going to leave you there, guys, because you have got a question now to have a go at. Leave a comment down below in the comments section with your answer. I'd love to see if you got it right. Let's see if we can get 10 or 20 or 30 people getting it right today. And tune in tomorrow to see what the answer is. Now, don't forget, you can check the community tab to see how we're doing with the forfeit. Fingers crossed that the tides go in my favor when it comes to those last few days, because I'm sure that's what it's going to come down to. Guys, I don't want to be eating hot sauce. Do you want to see me doing that? Really? Well, if you don't, keep watching this video and, tell people not to watch Dylan's videos because mine are better. Bye, guys.